This is the second book of the Chronicles. This is going to be part 4, chapter 21. And Jehoshaphat rested with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. Then Jehoram, his son, reigned in his place. He had brothers, the sons of Jehoshaphat, Azariah, Jehiel, Zechariah, Azariah. Hold on, sorry guys, this name is a little bit hard. Azaryahu. I'm pretty sure that's it's spelled Azaryahu. So Azaryahu, Michael, and Shephatiah. All these were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Israel. Their father gave them great gifts of silver and gold and precious things, with fortified cities in Judah. But he gave the kingdom to Jehoram, because he was the firstborn. Now when Jehoram was established over the kingdom of his father, he strengthened himself and killed all his brothers with the sword, and also others of the princes of Israel. Jehoram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, just as the house of Ahab had done. For he had the daughter of Ahab as a wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Yet the Lord would not destroy the house of David because of the covenant that he had made with David, and since he had promised to give a lamp to him and to his sons forever. In his days, Edom revolted against Judah's authority and made a king over themselves. So Jehoram went out with his officers and all his chariots with him, and he rose by night and attacked the Edomites who had surrounded him and the captains of the chariots. Thus Edom has been in revolt against Judah's authority to this day. At that time Libnah revolted against his rule, because he had forsaken the Lord God of his fathers. Moreover, he made high places in the mountains of Judah, and caused the inhabitants of Jerusalem to commit harlotry, and led Judah astray. And a letter came to him from Elijah the prophet, saying, Thus says the Lord God of your father David, because you have not walked in the ways of Jehoshaphat your father, or in the ways of Asa, king of Judah, but have walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and have made Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to play the harlot like the harlotry of the house of Ahab, and also have killed your brothers, those of your father's household, who were better than yourself. Behold, the Lord will strike your people with a serious affliction, your children, your wives, and all your possessions, and you will become very sick with the disease of your intestines, until your intestines come out by reason of the sickness, day by day. Moreover, the Lord stirred up against Jehoram the spirit of the Philistines and the Arabians who were near the Ethiopians. And they came up into Judah and invaded it, and carried away all the possessions that were found in the king's house, and also his sons and his wives, so that there was not a son left to him except Jehoahaz, the youngest of his sons. After all this, the Lord struck him in his intestines with an incurable disease. Then it happened in the course of time, after the end of 2 years, that his intestines came out because of his sickness. So he died in severe pain, and his people made no burning for him, like the burning for his fathers. He was 32 years old when he became king. He reigned in Jerusalem 8 years, and to no one's sorrow departed. However, they buried him in the city of David, but not in the tombs of the kings. Chapter 22. Then the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, his youngest son, king in his place. For the raiders who came with the Arabians into the camp had killed all the older sons. So Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, reigned. Ahaziah was 42 years old when he became king, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Athaliah, the granddaughter of Omri. He also walked in the ways of the house of Ahab, for his mother advised him to do wickedly. Therefore he did evil in the sight of the Lord, like the house of Ahab, for they were his counselors after the death of his father, to his destruction. He also followed their advice, and went with Jehoram the son of Ahab, king of Israel, to war against Hazael, king of Syria, at Ramoth Gilead, and the Syrians wounded Joram. Then he returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds which he had received at Ramah, when he fought against Hazael, king of Syria, and Azariah the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Jehoram the son of Ahab in Jezreel, because he was sick. His going to Joram was God's occasion for Ahaziah's downfall. For when he arrived, he went out with Jehoram against Jehu the son of Nimshi, whom the Lord had anointed to cut off the house of Ahab. And it happened, when Jehu was executing judgment on the house of Ahab, and found the princes of Judah and the sons of Ahaziah's brothers, who served Ahaziah, that he killed them. Then he searched for Ahaziah, and they caught him. He was hiding in Samaria, and brought him to Jehu. When they had killed him, they buried him, because they said, "He is the son of Jehoshaphat, who sought the Lord with all his heart." So the house of Ahaziah had no one to assume power over the kingdom. Now when Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the royal heirs of the house of Judah. But Jehoshaphat, but Jehoshaphat, I think it's Jehoshaphat. It's spelled Jehoshaphath. So, and it's a girl. So, I almost said Jehoshaphat, but it looks like it's a girl. So it's Jehoshabeth, I would think, the daughter of the king, took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him away from among the king's sons, who were being murdered, and put him and his nurse in a bedroom. So Jehoshabeth, the daughter of King Jehoram, the wife of Jehoiada the priest, for she was the sister of Ahaziah, hid him from Athaliah, so that she did not kill him. And he was hidden with them in the house of God for 6 years, while Athaliah reigned over the land. Chapter 23. In the 7th year, Jehoiada strengthened himself and made a covenant with the captains of hundreds: Azariah the son of Jehoram, Ishmael the son of Jehohanan, Azariah the son of Obed, Maaziah the son of Adaiah, and Elishaphat the son of Zitri. And they went throughout Judah, and gathered the Levites from all the cities of Judah, and the chief fathers of Israel, and they came to Jerusalem. Then all this assembly made a covenant with the king in the house of God. And he said to them, "Behold, the king's son shall reign, as the Lord has said of all the sons of David. This is what you shall do. 1/3 of you entering on the Sabbath of the priests and the Levites shall be keeping watch over the doors. 1/3 shall be at the king's house, and 1/3 at the gate of the foundation. All the people shall be in the courts of the house of the Lord, but let no one come into the house of the Lord except the priests, and those of the Levites who serve. They may go in, for they are holy, but all the people shall keep the watch of the Lord. And the Levites shall surround the king on all sides, every man with his weapons in his hand. and whoever comes into the house, let him be put to death. You are to be with the king when he comes in and when he goes out." So the Levites and all Judah did according to all that Jehoiada the priest commanded. And each man took his men who were to be on duty on the Sabbath, with those who were going off duty on the Sabbath. For Jehoiada the priest was not dismissed, the priest had not dismissed the divisions. I wonder if I'm saying this guy's name right. He's the priest. His name, it sounds like it's Jehoiada, but I'm not sure. It's spelled Jehoiada. So I'm saying Jehoiada. That's what it sounds like to me. The priest. The priest had not dismissed the divisions. And Jehoiada the priest gave to the captains of hundreds the spears and the large and small shields, which had belonged to King David, that were in the temple of God. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. Sorry, I got like a sniffly nose, so I apologize. I hope I'm not getting sick. Then he set all the people, every man with his weapon in his hand, from the right side of the temple to the left side of the temple, along by the altar and by the temple, all around the king. And they brought out the king's son, put the crown on him, gave him the testimony, and made him king. Then Jehoiada and his sons anointed him and said, "Long live the king." Now when Athaliah heard the noise of the people running and praising the king, she came to the people in the temple of the Lord. When she looked, there was the king standing by his pillar at the entrance, and the leaders and the trumpeters were by the king. All the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets, also the singing with the musical instruments, and those who led in praise. So Athaliah tore her clothes and said, "Treason, treason." And Jehoiada the priest brought out the captains of hundreds who were set over the army, and said to them, "Take her outside under guard, and slay with the sword whoever follows her." For the priest had said, "Do not kill her in the house of the Lord." So they seized her, and she went by way of the entrance of the horse gate into the king's house, and they killed her there. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between himself, the people, and the king, that they should be the Lord's people. And all the people went to the temple of Baal and tore it down. They broke it in pieces, its altars and images, and killed Mattan the priest of Baal before the altars. Also Jehoiada appointed the oversight of the house of the Lord to the hand of the priests, the Levites, whom David had assigned in the house of the Lord to offer the burnt offerings of the Lord, as it was written in the law of Moses, with rejoicing and with singing, as it was established by David. And he set the gatekeepers at the gates of the house of the Lord, so that no one who was in any way unclean should enter. Then he took the captains of hundreds, the nobles, the governors of the people, and all the people of the land, and brought the king down from the house of the Lord. And they went through the upper gate to the king's house, and set the king on the throne of the kingdom. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet, for they had slain Athaliah with the sword. Chapter 24. Excuse me. Joash was 7 years old when he became king, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. Joash did what was right in the sight of the Lord all the days of Jehoiada the priest. And Jehoiada took 2 wives for him, and he had sons and daughters. Now it happened after this that Joash set his heart on repairing the house of the Lord. Then he gathered the priests and the Levites and said to them, Go out to the cities of Judah and gather from all Israel money to repair the house of your God from year to year, and see that you do it quickly." However, the Levites did not do it quickly. So the king called Jehoiada, the chief priest, and said to him, "Why have you not required the Levites to bring in from Judah and from Jerusalem the collection, according to the commandment of Moses, the servant of the Lord, and of the assembly of Israel, for the tabernacle of witness?" For the sons of Athaliah, that wicked woman, had broken into the house of God, and had also presented all the dedicated things of the house of the Lord to the Baals. Then, at the king's command, they made a chest and set it outside at the gate of the house of the Lord. And they made a proclamation throughout Judah and Jerusalem to bring to the Lord the collection that Moses, the servant of God, had imposed on Israel in the wilderness. Then all the leaders and all the people rejoiced, brought their contributions, and put them into the chest until all had given. So it was at that time, when the chest was brought to the king's official by the hand of the Levites, and when they saw that there was much money, that the king's scribe and the high priest officer came and emptied the chest and took it and returned it to its place. Thus they did this day by day, and gathered money in abundance. The king and Jehoiada gave it to those who did the work of the service of the house of the Lord. And they hired masons and carpenters to repair the house of the Lord, and also those who worked in iron and bronze to restore the house of the Lord. So the workmen labored, and the work was completed by them. They restored the house of God to its original condition and reinforced it. When they had finished, they brought the rest of the money before the king and Jehoiada. They made from it articles for the house of the Lord, articles for serving and offering, spoons and vessels of gold and silver. And they offered burnt offerings in the house of the Lord continually all the days of Jehoiada. But Jehoiada grew old and was full of days, and he died. He was 130 years old when he died. And they buried him in the city of David among the kings, because he had done good in Israel, both toward God and his house. Now after the death of Jehoiada, the leaders of Judah came and bowed down to the king, and the king listened to them. Therefore they left the house of the Lord God of their fathers, and served wooden images and idols, and wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem because of their trespass. Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them back to the Lord, and they testified against them, but they would not listen. Then the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, the priest, who stood above the people, and said to them, "Thus says God, why do you transgress the commandments of the Lord, so that you cannot prosper? Because you have forsaken the Lord, he has also forsaken you." So they conspired against him, and at the command of the king they stoned him. They stoned him with stones in the court of the house of the Lord. Thus Joash the king did not remember the kindness which Jehoiada his father had done to him, but killed his son. And as he died, he said, "The Lord look on it and repay." So it happened in the spring of the year that the army of Syria came up against him. And they came to Judah and Jerusalem, and destroyed all the leaders of the people from among the people, and sent all their spoil to the king of Damascus. For the army of the Syrians came with a small company of men, but the Lord delivered a very great army into their hand, because they had forsaken the Lord God of their fathers. So they executed judgment against Joash. And when they had withdrawn from him, for they left him severely wounded, his own servants conspired against him because of the blood of the sons of Jehoiada the priest, and killed him on his bed. So he died, And they buried him in the city of David, but they did not bury him in the tombs of the kings. These are the ones who conspired against him: Zabad the son of Shemith, the Ammonites, and Jehozabad the son of Shimrith, the Moabites. Now concerning his sons and the many oracles about him, and the repairing of the house of God, indeed, they are written in the annals of the book of the kings. Then Amaziah his son reigned in his place. Chapter 25. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a loyal heart. Now it happened, as soon as the kingdom was established for him, that he executed his servants who had murdered his father the king. However, he did not execute their children, but did as it is written in the law in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, The fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall the children be put to death for their fathers, but a person shall die for his own sin. Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah together, and set over them captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, according to their fathers' houses, throughout all Judah and Benjamin. And he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found them to be 300,000 choice men, able to go to war, who could handle spear and shield. He also hired 100,000 mighty men of valor from Israel I said that wrong. He also hired 100,000 mighty men of valor from Israel for 100 talents of silver. But a man of God came to him, saying, O king, do not let the army of Israel go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, not with any of the children of Ephraim. But if you go, be gone. Be strong in battle. Even so God shall make you fall before the enemy, for God has the power to help to overthrow. Then Amaziah said to the man of God, But what shall we do about the 100 talents which I have given to the troops of Israel? And the man of God answered, The Lord is able to give you much more than this. So Amaziah discharged the troops that had come to my word is kind of I can't read it. Hold on. Let's see. Come to him. Okay. Sorry, there's like a flaw in my Bible. There's like the word is kind of cut off. Like it's weird. I don't know how to describe it. So Amaziah discharged the troops that had come to him from Ephraim to go back home. Therefore, their anger was greatly aroused against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. Then Amaziah strengthened himself, and leading his people, he went to the valley of Salt, and killed 10,000 of the people of Seir. Also the children of Judah took captive 10,000 alive, brought them to the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, so that they all were dashed in pieces. But as for the soldiers of the army which Amaziah had discharged, so that they would not go with him to battle, they raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth Horon, killed 3,000 in them, and took much spoil. Now it was so, after Amaziah came from the slaughter of the Edomites, that he brought the gods of the people of Seir, set them up to be his gods, and bowed down before them, and burned incense to them. Therefore the anger of the Lord was aroused against Amaziah, and he sent him a prophet who said to him, Why have you sought the gods of the people, which could not rescue their own people from your hand? So it was, as he talked with him, that the king said to him, Have we made you the king's counselor? Cease, why should you be killed? Then the prophet ceased and said, I know that God has determined to destroy you because you have done this and have not heeded my advice. Now Amaziah, king of Judah, asked advice and sent to Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, Come, let us face one another in battle. And Joash, king of Israel, went to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son as wife. And a wild beast that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. Indeed, you say that you have defeated the Edomites, and your heart is lifted up to boast. Stay at home now. Why should you meddle with trouble, that you should fall, you and Judah with you? But Amaziah would not heed, for it came from God, that he might give them into the hand of their enemies, because they sought the gods of Edom. So Joash, king of Israel, went out, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, faced one another at Beth Shemesh, which belongs to Judah. And Judah was defeated by Israel, and every man fled to his tent. Then Joash, the king of Israel, captured Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, at Beth Shemesh, and he brought him to Jerusalem, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. And he took all the gold and silver, all the articles that were found in the house of God, with Obed-Edom, the treasures of the king's house, and hostages, and returned to Samaria. Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Joash, the son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, from the first to the last, indeed, are they not written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel? After the time that Amaziah turned away from following the Lord, they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. Then they brought him on horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah. I'm gonna pause there for a moment, and then I'm gonna do another part. I'm trying to do these a little bit shorter so I could get them uploaded faster, because I don't know why it's taking a lot of time for me to get them uploaded for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So, but I noticed when they're smaller, I can get them uploaded. So, I'm not sure I don't know if I have anything to say about this. This is what I see. I see this constantly since I've been reading this about the kings. The kings follow, and then some of them follow wholeheartedly, and when they do, they're so blessed by God. Then you get some, like the Amaziah guy, he really did bad, like, in God's eyes. And then then God allowed bad stuff to happen. So it's just like, I know we just gotta stay with God. It's just like, don't let the world tempt you away. Don't let other people's idols tempt you away, like other people's gods. We believe in the God of Israel, and so be careful, like if somebody tries to persuade you away with something they believe in that is a different God than the God we believe in. Because there's a lot of people that, they do really good stuff, and they're good people, but they might not believe in Jesus and the God who created heaven and earth. And so they are good people, but they're not following the true God, I guess. And they won't like to hear that. I don't ever like to get in conversations like that with people. I don't. That's a very controversial one, and it's gonna probably be a heated moment, because I get that way with people that don't believe in God. Like, I don't know if you've ever had conversation with, like, I guess if they're, I don't know if they're atheists or they just don't believe in the Bible, but when I've had heated conversations with people, when people find out like I believe in God and the Holy Bible, like some people get like angry and like they'll say something to me, you know, and then I will just talk kindly to them, and I pray about it too. I'll be like, oh my gosh, God, I need you right now, because I feel in being like attacked, you know. It's, and you know what, I know, I feel like that's like a spiritual attack, you know, because I feel like people, this person, at the end of our conversation, the person turned around and was a really nice person. Do you know what I mean? So I don't ever, like, when people come at me like angry for like either no reason or because of they know I believe in God, I always feel like this could be like a spiritual attack. Like this person, you know, like I just take that into consideration. And sometimes it's hard when you're in the heat of the moment, but for the most part, I always try to think about that. I think that, you know, like we're in a time right now where evil is it's showing itself, right? Like, you know, it's not hiding and it's everywhere. And I think a lot of people who believe in Jesus and God, and even the people who just believe in the God of Israel, you know, maybe not necessarily they believe in Jesus yet, but they believe in the same God that we believe in, who created heaven and earth. I feel like we're getting attacked more, or people are more aggressive with us, you know, and it's just that's why the world can be very scary sometimes, because you don't know what you're walking into with people, you know, you don't know. And sometimes I think it's just, you know, when you're nice, some people, I don't know, sometimes I think being nice to people offends people. I don't know why. Maybe because they're not. And you know what? I would try to think about that too. Why is that? Why is it because when somebody's nice to somebody, then people are kind of, they don't like that person. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why would you rather have a mean person come up at you? Or would you rather just have somebody nice, you know? Like, I never quite understand that. So, but I just take it as people are, everybody's kind of probably, well, we're all in a different place, and we all have things going on in our lives, and it's very hard to trust people. It is, even if you see a kind person, because, you know, some people that are kind have a bad motive behind them, you know, and they can be tricking people, you know, so they can pretend to be nice and really have bad intentions, you know. So you also got to be aware of that too, and that can be hard too, because, you know, you think somebody's very being pleasant with you and nice, and you know, you thinking, wow, good, nice person, and then all of a sudden they do something real crap, you know, bad to you. So you're like, oh man, okay. Usually when that happens, I just avoid those people. Like, you know, usually I just, if I can't resolve like a conversation, if I know that that person is angry with me, and sometimes I don't even do anything, they just don't like me for some reason or whatever, like they're angry, so I just try to avoid the whole situation. If I can't smooth it over, or, you know, try to, I don't know, you know, I just try to avoid them as best I can, you know. And I know sometimes it's hard. Usually with strangers it's easy, because you'll probably never see them again. You'll see them once and that's it, you know. But some people that you see all the time, you know, might be a little bit harder. But it's good to try to repair stuff, you know, so that it's good for the relationship you have with them, and then it's good for, you know, it's good spiritually for their soul and healing. I think it's healing. It's like a healing thing. It's a healing thing in many ways. But anyways, I'm not sure what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, it's just, I think it's just been, I think my past days have been kind of like spiritually crazy. if you, it's just like up and down, you know, so I'm on guard. But and with all the natural disasters happening, there's a lot happening right now, and I see it, and it's, you know, the world is having a hard time right now. You know, there's a lot of natural disasters, there's a lot of death, there's a lot of anger because, um for many different reasons, and it's a lot of emotions, but what I love to see that everybody is helping. Like, you know what, no matter how small or great, everybody's trying to be there, and that is so much God. Like, that is so beautiful to me. Like, that's a lot of love, for people, and there's a lot of like, just a lot of people helping, and I think that is so amazing, because there's a lot of sad stories out there. There's a lot of people who died from hurricanes and the floods and stuff, and it's pretty sad. And animals too, even the animals, and it's just, there's a lot going on. So I think the world is kind of in this place, and we sure need God. And I know there's been a lot of prayers, and so I'm glad to see that too. But anyways, I hope you were not in any, I hope you, or you don't know somebody that was in a natural disaster. And if you do know somebody, or if you were there, I'm really sorry for you, and I pray for you guys, and I hope that you can recover, and I hope if you know somebody, they recover fast and get, through this. And I know it's got to be devastating. It looks devastating from the what I've seen online. So, but anyways, I wish you all well, and God bless you, and I will do a part 5.